All right, so you've given us some fascinating research here on K-pop and fandom.
Yeah.
Looks like we're doing a deep dive into the world of K-pop.
Yeah, yeah. And it's really interesting because what we're looking at is this academic article
Okay.
from the journal New Media and Society.
Wow.
So
Okay.
this isn't just like surface level, fandom.
Yeah.
This is like the academic nitty-gritty
Okay.
of how fans are engaging with this world. And especially
Yeah.
given the fact that K-pop is such a like meticulously crafted and marketed product.
Yeah, like you think that almost makes it harder to have a genuine connection. But
Mhm.
this research shows that that's not necessarily true.
Totally.
So how are fans finding this meaning and this intimacy?
Yeah, well, a big part of it, I think, is the digital landscape.
Okay.
We have to remember that K-pop's rise in the West has been primarily fueled by online platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. How many Western fans actually get to see these groups
Yeah.
live in concert?
Not that many, right?
Not that many. No. So these platforms become like the primary spaces
Yeah.
for interaction.
That makes a lot of sense.
So,
And that leads us to V Live, right? This Korean app that's all about like live streaming and giving fans.
it's about liveness.
Yeah.
That sense of immediacy
Yeah,
and access they crave.
totally.
So even if you've got thousands of fans tuning in simultaneously,
Yeah.
you've got that feeling that you're experiencing something
Yeah.
together in real time.
Yeah, like a shared experience.
Right, like a virtual shared
Yeah,
experience.
even if you're thousands of miles apart.
Exactly.
And there are different types of performances, right?
Right.
It's not all just like super polished music show style presentations.
Yeah, you've got your TV performances.
Yeah.
Yeah, the high production, perfect camera angles, all that.
Yeah.
But then you have this like au natural format.
Okay. I'm intrigued what's so special about these
Uh,
au natural interactions.
So think about it. Imagine you're scrolling through V Live
Yeah.
and you stumble upon your bias.
Okay.
Let's say it's Jimin from DTS,
Okay.
just casually hanging out in a hotel room,
Mm-hmm.
minimal makeup, chatting with fans in the comments.
That's so different.
It's a totally different vibe.
Yeah, it really is.
And it's like,
you're getting this unguarded glimpse
yeah,
into like their downtime.
Yeah.
And that just feels so personal.
exactly. And even though millions might be watching
Yeah.
these mundane details, like talking about what they had for lunch or
Right.
how their day went,
Yeah.
somehow make them feel more relatable,
More human.
more human. Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Not the superstar persona,
Exactly.
like the person behind the persona.
Behind the persona.
And I think that really does make it feel
Right,
more
genuine.
genuine.
And you know what the article even highlights?
Okay.
How these technical glitches or unscripted moments
Oh, really?
actually contribute to that.
Interesting.
Like a delayed response
Yeah.
or flub's line.
Right.
Those imperfections can actually make it feel
More real.
more real. Yeah, less staged.
It's like those little cracks
Yeah.
in that polished facade
Totally.
that let the real personality kind of shine through.
Yes. And the research actually quotes some fans
Oh, wow.
saying that they feel like they truly know these idols.
Yeah.
Their personalities, their quirks,
Mm-hmm.
and they say, that kind of familiarity
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't be possible without this like constant stream of
Right.
content and interaction on platforms like V Live.
So it's like you're building this almost like parasocial relationship
Yes.
that feels surprisingly real, even if it's
Yeah.
largely mediated through a screen.
Exactly. And that brings up this key point,
Okay.
which is how do fans reconcile this sense of authenticity with the fact
Yeah.
that K-pop is inherently manufactured and marketed?
Right. It's like this tension between wanting to believe
Yeah.
in the genuineness of these connections,
Totally.
but also knowing that there's this whole industry
Right.
machine behind it all.
Yeah.
So how do fans navigate that?
Well, the research introduces this concept
Okay.
called corroborated authenticity.
Corroborated authenticity.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So it means that fans aren't just blindly accepting everything they see.
Okay.
They're actively piecing together evidence
Okay.
from various sources to validate
Gotcha.
idols' authenticity.
So they're like digital detectives almost.
In a way, yes.
Yeah.
They're constantly comparing, how idols behave on V Live
Mm-hmm.
with how they act in other settings.
Right. So like concerts, interviews.
Concerts, interview, variety shows.
Yeah.
They're looking for consistency.
Right. Consistency is key.
Across platform.
It's like a test of character.
Yeah, totally.
If the personality shines through in all these different contexts, then it must be real.
Yeah, it must be more likely to be perceived as genuine.
It makes sense.
So there's this one fan quoted in the article named Leah.
Okay.
And she talks about how she sees BTS as more authentic than other groups.
Interesting.
Because their personalities remain consistent, even when the cameras aren't rolling. And she even mentions that their management company seems more down to earth.
Okay.
Which also adds to this kind of overall perception of authenticity.
So it's like the whole ecosystem has to be aligned.
The whole ecosystem.
Yeah, it's not just the idol themselves. It's like the people around them, the way they're presented.
Right.
It all contributes to this bigger picture.
It's fascinating.
It really is.
How fans piece together this puzzle
Yeah.
of corroborated authenticity.
Yeah.
But it also makes you think about the pressure on these idols to constantly perform.
Yeah, to perform authenticity.
It's authenticity.
Right.
It's not just about talent anymore.
Yeah.
It's about managing your entire public persona.
Yeah, 24/7. 24/7.
And that pressure can manifest in really interesting ways.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Remember that incident with J-Hope from BTS?
Oh, yeah.
At the Billboard Music Awards?
Yeah.
He got photobombed on the red carpet.
It perfectly illustrates this, like, always-on mentality.
Totally. He very clearly sees this random person jump into the shot.
Yes.
But he doesn't react at all.
Yeah.
He just maintains this perfect, composed smile until they're out of the frame.
It's incredible.
Yeah. It's like a masterclass in self-control.
Right.
Yeah.
And it just shows you how ingrained this idea of performing authenticity is in the K-pop industry.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, it really is.
Like, even in these unexpected moments, they have to be on.
They have to be on.
It's a really fascinating insight, I think, into these complex dynamics of the idol-fan relationship.
Yeah.
On one hand, fans crave this authenticity and connection.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, the industry that produces these idols demands this level of performance that makes true authenticity seem almost impossible.
And yet fans are finding ways to connect, to find meaning in it all.
It really speaks volumes about the power.
It really does.
Of fandom itself.
Yeah.
It's about wanting to believe in something.
Yeah.
Even when, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors involved.
Yeah.
Right?
But it's not just about the idols themselves, right?
Right.
The fan community plays a huge role in this whole equation, too.
Absolutely.
It adds another layer to this corroborated authenticity idea.
They discuss their observations.
Yeah.
They share interpretations.
Right.
And they kind of collectively reinforce their beliefs.
Yeah.
They create this shared understanding of who these idols really are. And it's based not just on what they see on stage or on V Live, but on a much wider range of information and interaction.
It's like this giant global support group for K-pop obsession. But it's more than obsession, though, right? It's about finding a sense of belonging. Like, the research even mentions how fans see V Live as like a safe space, a source of connection.
And they're finding community with people who share their passion.
Exactly.
Who understand their feelings.
Yeah.
And that sense of belonging is amplified by the fact that, this is a global phenomenon.
Right.
Connecting people across cultures and continents.
It's amazing to see how these digital platforms can foster these really meaningful connections.
Right.
Even when there are these significant geographic and cultural barriers.
And it goes even deeper than that.
Oh, really? In what way?
Fans desire to understand Korean culture. Learning the language, immersing themselves in the customs.
Right.
That also plays a role in their perception of authenticity.
So it's not just like surface level fandom.
Right.
It's about engaging with the
whole cultural context.
Which like enhances their understanding of the idols and the music.
Totally.
It's really fascinating.
It is fascinating. But of course, we do have to acknowledge the potential pitfalls here.
Like what?
Like the Korea boo stereotype.
Right.
Those fans who fetishize or misrepresent Korean culture without truly understanding it.
It's such a fine line, right? Between genuine appreciation and disrespectful imitation.
Yeah, you've got to have that awareness and sensitivity to navigate that line.
For sure.
So we've got this mix of digital platforms, passionate fans, and a culture that's both highly manufactured and deeply personal.
Yeah. What a combo.
Yeah, where do we go from here?
I don't know. This is just the beginning.
Well, this is just the beginning of our deep dive.
Okay.
There's so much more to unpack, so many more layers to explore.
I can't wait.
So stay tuned as we continue to delve into the world of K-pop fandom and this quest for authenticity.
Let's do it.
In the digital age.
Okay.
Right?
Lesson.
It's like this fascinating paradox, right? You've got this industry that thrives on like meticulously crafted images and personas.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's where fans crave authenticity above all else.
It's true. And it's almost like they're looking for those cracks in the facade, those moments where the real person shines through.
Totally.
And I think the fact that they're actively seeking out and like piecing together this evidence says a lot about how savvy K-pop fans are.
Yeah, they're not just passive consumers.
Right.
They're like active participants.
Totally.
In constructing the narrative.
Yeah, and it reminds me of what we were talking about with those au naturel, those unscripted glimpses. Play a huge role in this whole corroborated authenticity concept.
It's not just about being perfect and polished.
Yeah.
It's about feeling real and relatable.
Totally. And I think this research really challenges our assumptions about what constitutes authenticity in the digital age.
Right, because we tend to think of like online spaces as inherently artificial.
Right.
But this shows how platforms like VLive can facilitate genuine connection and intimacy, even across these vast distances.
Yeah, it makes you wonder.
It does.
If something similar is happening in other fan communities too.
Right. Like, do fans of YouTubers or athletes engage in this same kind of corroborated authenticity process?
Yeah. What clues are they looking for?
What are they looking for?
Right.
That's a great question.
It is a great question. Yeah.
I imagine the dynamics might be slightly different.
Right.
Depending on, you know, the nature of the fandom and the platforms involved.
Yeah, the platforms.
But I bet the underlying principles are the same.
Okay,
you know, this desire to connect with something real, something that resonates with their values and aspirations.
I'm just picturing those like intense comment section debates.
Oh, yeah.
Where fans are dissecting every little detail, trying to figure out who's the real deal and who's just putting on a show.
The fan community becomes this like collective intelligence.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, working together to decode the authenticity puzzle.
Right.
And that process of collective interpretation is incredibly powerful.
It really is.
It's not just the idols performing authenticity. It's the fans actively shaping and validating that through their discussions and interpretations.
So it's not a one-way street. Exactly.
It's a feedback loop.
Yeah, this fascinating feedback loop.
Yeah.
Where both the idols and the fans are actively involved in constructing this shared reality.
And that's what makes fandom so engaging.
It does.
It's this constant back and forth.
Yeah.
This shared quest for meaning and connection.
Yeah. And even though this research focuses specifically on K-pop, I think we can see echoes of these dynamics.
Totally.
In all sorts of fandoms, whether it's musicians, YouTubers, book series, even sports teams.
It's like there's this universal language of fandom.
Yeah.
This set of shared desires and motivations that transcend the specific object of affection.
Right, like there are these certain universal principles at play.
Yeah, like the desire for authenticity, the need to feel connected, the power of collective interpretation.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like these are all fundamental human drives.
Yeah. Manifest in different ways.
Exactly.
Within these different fan communities.
It's like we're all searching for something to believe in.
Yeah.
Something that resonates with our values and aspirations.
And fandom provides that.
And fandom provides that.
Especially in a world that can often feel very fragmented and isolating.
It gives us a sense of belonging.
Right.
A shared purpose.
Yeah.
A common language.
It's powerful.
It's powerful, and it's only getting stronger in the digital age as these online communities become increasingly central to our lives.
And speaking of the digital age, we can't overlook the role of Korean culture in all of this.
Totally.
And the research specifically mentions how fans' attempts to understand Korean culture.
Yeah.
Learning the language.
Right.
Immersing themselves in the customs contribute to their perception of authenticity. It's such a fascinating aspect of K-pop fandom.
It's not just about appreciating the music and the performances.
Yeah.
It's about engaging with
the whole cultural context.
Which deepens the connection.
Yeah.
And adds another level of meaning.
It's like they're building a bridge to a different world, expanding their horizons beyond their own cultural bubble.
It really is, and it's amazing.
Right.
And it's beautiful to see how fandom can be a gateway to intercultural understanding, a way to break down barriers and connect with people from different backgrounds.
But of course, we have to acknowledge
the
potential for cultural appropriation here.
Right, like what the research touched upon with that Koreaboo stereotype.
Yeah, that fine line between genuine appreciation and disrespectful imitation.
And not everyone navigates that line successfully.
Not everyone. No, you need to approach any culture with respect and sensitivity.
Yeah.
But I do think that fandom, when done thoughtfully, can be a powerful force for positive cultural exchange.
I agree. It's all about approaching it with an open mind, a willingness to learn, and a healthy dose of self-awareness.
Well said. And it's important to remember that culture is not static.
Right.
It's constantly evolving and being reinterpreted.
Right.
Especially in our globalized world.
So it's not about trying to become Korean or adopting some superficial understanding of the culture. It's about appreciating the nuances, the complexities, the things that make it unique.
And that's where genuine connection happens.
Right.
It's about recognizing and valuing those differences, not trying to erase them.
I love that this whole conversation has really got me thinking about
me too.
My own experiences with fandom.
Yeah.
It's making me realize how much thought and effort fans put into constructing and validating their understanding of the people they admire.
It really sheds new light on the motivations, the desires, the complexities that drive these passionate communities.
And it's not just blind devotion.
Right.
It's a process.
It's a process.
Of critical engagement.
Yeah.
Of seeking evidence.
Right.
Of building a shared narrative.
And ultimately, it's about finding connection, meaning, and a sense of belonging.
Right.
In a world that can often feel very disconnected.
Exactly. But this brings up another question.
Not that.
Like, how much of this quest for authenticity is driven by the very platform that facilitate these connections?
That's a thought-provoking question.
It is.
Are these platforms intentionally designed to foster these feelings of intimacy and authenticity? Or is it something that emerges organically from the way fans interact with the content and each other?
I think it's probably a combination of both.
I think so, too.
Right. The platforms provide
the tools, the spaces for interaction.
And it's the fans who bring the passion.
The passion, the critical thinking, the desire for connection.
It's like a recipe.
It is like a recipe.
You need the right ingredients.
Right.
But you also need someone.
You need the chef.
Yeah, you need someone who knows how to combine them in a way that creates something.
To create something special.
Yeah, something special. And it makes you wonder, are certain platforms better suited for fostering these authentic connections than others?
Yeah. Is it the technology itself, the design of the interface, or the way the community uses it?
This research focused on VLive. Which seems particularly effective at creating that sense of intimacy and immediacy.
And that liveness aspect is definitely key. It creates this feeling of shared experience.
Yeah, like you're right there in the room with the idols.
But other platforms have their own strengths.
Right.
You know, Twitter's great for real-time conversations.
Yeah.
And fan art sharing. YouTube offers this vast library of content.
Yeah. Official and fan-made.
Both official and fan-made.
Yeah.
Instagram is perfect for those curated glimpses into idols' lives.
So it's like each platform offers a different piece of the puzzle.
Yeah. It's a different way to connect with the artists and the community.
And fans are using all of these.
And savvy fans are using all of them.
In a very strategic way.
In a strategic way, yes.
Yeah, to piece together this holistic understanding of their idols and their world.
It's a multi-platform fandom experience.
That's a good way to put it.
Carefully curated to maximize those feelings of connection and authenticity.
And it makes you realize that fandom is not a passive activity.
It's not passive.
Yeah.
It's active.
It's a process of active engagement, of critical thinking.
Of co-creation.
It's
a dynamic, ever-evolving landscape shaped by both the platforms and the passionate communities that inhabit them.
And that's what makes it so exciting to study.
It is exciting.
Yeah, it's this constant source of surprise, insight, and inspiration.
Fandom is a microcosm.
It is.
Of human connection in the digital age.
Yeah.
It's this powerful reminder of our need for belonging, meaning, and authenticity, even in the most mediated of environments.
It really is, and it makes you wonder, what does the future hold?
That is the question.
For fandom, as technology continues to evolve and these new platforms emerge.
Will we see even more immersive experiences?
Right.
Will virtual reality play a role?
Ooh.
Will AI be used to create personalized fandom experiences?
That's crazy.
The possibilities are endless.
They really are. Yeah. And I can't wait to see how fans continue to push the boundaries of connection and creativity in the digital age.
It's an exciting time to be a fan.
It is.
The quest for authenticity continues.
It does.
And it's only getting more fascinating.
This whole deep dive has really gotten me thinking, you know, in a world where so much feels curated and filtered, how much does our own desire for authenticity shape the kind of content we seek out?
That's such a good question.
Right.
I think in this age of social media, where everyone's presenting like their best selves online.
A highlight reel.
Yeah. There's almost a sense of relief when we see those cracks in the facade. Those moments of vulnerability.
Yeah, those reminders that even the most polished, seemingly perfect individuals are still human.
Yeah.
Right?
They have flaws and imperfections.
Just like us.
Just like us.
I think that's what makes them relatable.
Totally. And that relatability, I think, fuels these strong emotional connections.
Yeah.
It's about finding that common ground.
Yeah.
Realizing that we're not so different after all.
Right.
Even when there are vast cultural differences at play.
And that brings us back to the heart of this K-pop fandom research.
Yeah.
These fans are finding ways to connect.
Yeah, across these significant,
these huge
cultural and linguistic barriers.
Right, and they're doing it by actively engaging.
Right, by learning the language, understanding the customs.
Yeah.
It's a testament to the power of fandom.
It really is.
To transcend these differences and create this sense of shared understanding.
It makes you wonder if fandom could be a force.
Right.
For positive social change.
Yeah.
On a larger scale.
Like, could it help break down stereotypes and build bridges between cultures?
If fans are already engaging in this cross-cultural learning and exchange, imagine if we could, like, harness that energy.
Yeah. What if we could, like...
Yeah, and direct it.
Direct it towards
some broader social goals.
It's a really thought-provoking idea.
It is.
Fandom is a powerful motivator.
It is.
Driving people to learn to connect.
Yeah.
To challenge their own preconceived notions.
And it's a reminder that even in our increasingly polarized world, there are still spaces where people from different backgrounds can come together and find common ground.
And often through something like K-pop.
Right. Shared passions and interests.
Who knew that a musical genre could spark such profound conversations about authenticity connection, the human experience?
It just goes to show that there's always
more to learn, more to explore, more to connect with.
And that's what makes these deep dives so rewarding.
I agree.
We start with a stack of research and we end up with this.
A whole new understanding.
Yeah, a whole new understanding of ourselves.
Of ourselves and the world.
And the world around us.
I love it.
Me too.
So to all you listeners out there, we leave you with this.
Okay.
What are your experiences with fandom and authenticity?
Yeah.
How do you navigate this digital landscape in search of genuine connection?
It's a great question.
Keep those questions swirling.
Yes.
And until next time.
Okay.
Happy deep diving.
Right. See you next time.